Today's topic then is AW, Enterprise AR for Equipment OEMs in a Post-COVID World. Russ, take it away.
Yeah, good morning or good afternoon, depending where you are. Hi, I'm Russ Fadel. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Augmentir, and I'm going to talk about how enterprise AR platforms, today also known as connected worker platforms, and equipment OEMs have a shared destiny in the post-COVID-19 world. I'm going to divide up my talk into three sections. First, talk a little bit about the challenges facing equipment OEMs and really the broader industry in general. And then talk about Augmentir, the founding of the company, and the decisions we made in the design of our connected worker platform. And then we'll open it up for question and answer. So the first thing I want to say is, even before the COVID era, the way we work has been already changing. The frontline workforce in the industrial workforce has been typically underserved with technology. But recently in the connected worker market, we've seen many companies adopting new digitization technologies to digitally transform their frontline workforce. Gartner recently came out with a study that said by 2023, 60% of all customer service engagements will be delivered via digital and self-serve channels. That's up from 23% only last year. So a threefold improvement or increase in 4 years. They went on to additionally say that 30% of customer service organizations will deliver proactive customer service using AI or artificial intelligence, process orchestration, and continuous intelligence. So when we look around in the industrial workspace, we realize that most companies' current infrastructure is not going to get them there. And when you add to that the COVID-19 pandemic, which has put new pressures on equipment OEMs, including social distancing, travel limitations, and workforce disruptions, it's really shining a light on the lack of investment we've had in our frontline work processes. So if you're an equipment OEM, you have to say to yourself in this era, how do I make my product? How do I deliver it? Do I require factory acceptance tests, site acceptance tests? How do I install it? How do I maintain it? How do I help my customers operate it? How do I troubleshoot it? How do I repair it? And how do I recall it? When you think about that again, in what I originally said was that COVID-19 pandemic, I really think it's not this pandemic, or actually the restrictions or requirements that are coming out of it will not disappear. While COVID-19 might, I think that in the industry and equipment OEMs will see social distancing, travel limitations, and workforce disruptions as a new normal that they have to plan for and use technology to overcome. Equipment OEMs' value chains add complexity to this. Clearly, the OEM makes its equipment and somehow delivers it to their end customer, whether that be a consumer or someone in the business-to-business world. And they service it typically through either a direct service force or through dealers or third-party service networks. So when you think about the pressures that COVID-19 is bringing, where perhaps your service force, whether direct or through a third-party network, can't get on site, how do you respond to these disruptions? How do you use this opportunity not just to try to play catch-up and provide the same level of service that you're currently providing, but how do you provide better and more cost-effective customer support? How can you empower your customers and their organizations to provide some or all of the services that have historically been provided by you or your authorized representative? These are some of the questions we hope to answer today. So a little bit about Augmentir. Augmentir was founded by three guys. That's Lawrence Fan on the left, me in the middle, and Phil Heber on the right, that have a pretty storied history in industrial software. Phil founded Wonderware Software in 1987, which pioneered the introduction of human-machine interfaces into factory floors. They went public in '94, and today Wonderware is the leading factory automation brand globally. I founded Lighthammer Software in 1997, and we built the first manufacturing integration and intelligence platform, which provided real-time visibility to people who ran factories so they could run their factories better. And it also provided a synchronization layer between the factory and the enterprise. And this really sped up supply chains and also increased the accuracy of supply chain and inventory forecasting. Today, if you're an SAP manufacturing customer, there's about a 90% chance that you have SAP MII, which is the successor to the Lighthammer product, in your infrastructure. And in 2009, I founded ThingWorx, and about 2 years into that business, we acquired Phil and Lawrence's software company based in Southern California. ThingWorx was the first industrial Internet of Things platform. We were acquired by PTC in 2014, and we remained on as an exec team for 2 years, and I ran the ThingWorx business. Today, ThingWorx is recognized as the leading industrial Internet of Things platform by Gartner. So we've taken that, the history of transformational software companies, and we got together in 2017 and recognized that there was a technology confluence coming where we felt we could build a connected worker platform based on artificial intelligence to really help serve the needs of the frontline workforce. And we targeted our platform at the frontline workers that we know well, workers in manufacturing, production, energy utilities, maintenance, and service. And we set out really to deal with what we saw as the three macro challenges in frontline workforces. First, the growing skills gap, which is being exacerbated by two things. One is that jobs have a shorter shelf life, so you're always having to retrain people even if you have a stable workforce. And two, what used to be a very tight labor market, now you have a very uncertain labor market. The second thing is the loss of tribal knowledge. It's estimated that 40% of all industrial knowledge workers will be retiring within the next 5 to 7 years. And with them will go this vast trove of information that they've learned over time. And there's really no easy way to kind of unlock that knowledge and make it a corporate asset. And three, the challenge of getting enough data, good data about the activities of frontline workforce to provide, to use traditional continuous improvement methods to identify opportunities. So those three are big macro trends, but they're actually being magnified in the COVID-19 era. You think about, social distancing and limited travel and workforce disruptions create, pressures on all three of the trends I talked before. What they really do is they put a premium on independent work. How can I use technology to allow each of my frontline workers to perform their jobs to completion independently without having to call over a colleague? How can I provide remote assistance or make remote assistance an integral tool in each frontline worker's toolbox? So if they need support, I can do that virtually, and I can connect the right expert to the right person. And then finally, the instant skill. So today, with the uncertainty in your workforce, you never know if you're going to have a level 1 technician, a level 3, or a level 5 technician available to do this job. So you have to build a skill up each person. So what we did is we built a AI-based platform that has two core functions: the ability to author and execute augmented guided or rich guided procedures, and then an integrated ability to connect a remote expert or a subject matter expert to any frontline worker to provide instant support. And those are functions you can find elsewhere in the market. But what makes Augmentir unique is the fact we designed it first and foremost on an artificial intelligence platform. And we use AI to really help solve or deal with the three big challenges. First, we use AI to continuously identify the largest productivity and training opportunities across your entire workforce to support your continuous improvement efforts. Second, because we learn in the process of doing continuous improvement, we learn a lot about every worker's ability to perform each job. We can automatically match the proficiency of each worker with the guidance and support that they get to close the skills gap intelligently. And then finally, we're releasing in the next month an AI bot infrastructure that works alongside remote subject matter experts to accumulate their tribal knowledge over time, to make that tribal knowledge a corporate asset. So how does AI-powered connected worker software help equipment OEMs and essentially industrial companies in all fashions? First, we believe it can empower your customers and their third parties to install, maintain, and service your equipment, to deliver remote assistance, to help guide customers and their third parties through your typical service processes, and use AI to identify and capture improvement opportunities across you and your customers' workforce. We do this by providing intelligent guidance for your typical service scenarios, using rich instructions that include pictures, images, videos, CAD explosions or animations, and AR or mixed reality experiences. We also use our ability to instant skill your workforce, to use AI to identify which worker needs what level of instruction. So someone who's brand new doing a job might have the left path, which would be more verbose, probably start with a safety video, and perhaps have a supervisor sign off during the process. Where someone who's more proficient really only needs a streamlined set of guidance and check boxes to ensure that they do their job in the correct order and they don't miss anything. Remote assistance, particularly for equipment OEMs, comes in two forms. One form is to support people who are in the act of doing work. So traditional remote assistance, we deliver a modern remote collaboration tool that allows one subject matter expert to support multiple frontline workers simultaneously. And when we release our bot infrastructure in the next month, this will also magnify the capabilities of your subject matter experts. If you're making equipment, it's frequent that you might have to invite your customers to your sites for a factory acceptance test, or you might have to have a site acceptance test. So we built our assist capability to really support this, where you can actually execute the factory acceptance test in the Augmentir procedure engine, and then include up to 40 participants, and then record those sessions for FAT or SAT documentation, and/or expert capture. As a good modern connected worker platform, we support industrial glasses so that you can deliver hands-free operation where it makes sense. And then using our AI engine, you can uncover improvement opportunities across your support and service processes, as well as identifying of the procedures or the work that you're now asking your customer to do. You can identify the ones that are causing the most problems for your customers so that your internal teams can build better procedures, provide better insights, and better support. So in summary, using a connected worker platform can help improve the safety of your workforce, eliminate or minimize site visits, reduce customer downtime, reduce support costs, and improve customer satisfaction. So using this, you can emerge out of the COVID-19 era with a better and more cost-effective support infrastructure. And so finally, quickly, how do we get started? It's easy. We're a modern software company. Sign up for a demo or on our website. It typically takes an hour. We'll convert a procedure for you so you can see how it works. If it looks good, they can jump in and start a free trial. So thank you. And happy to answer questions at this point in time.
Russ, very insightful that you shared in terms of how we can help the OEM enterprise solution providers and everything. Got a question here. One comment here that, too many are coming through now. Very impressive product offering from one person. Which devices do you see as important to support on your roadmap? AR glasses, or think about a tablet or mobile device?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, we entered the market kind of after the initial wave where everyone originally thought that every worker was going to be wearing smart glasses. And, that's proven not to be true. I think the penetration is about 5% of what was predicted in 2018 and 19. So we support tablets, browsers, so iOS and Android tablets, browsers, and then we really have to pick and choose for the smart glasses or the AR glasses. It's an expensive market to be in, and so if you look at most of the smaller companies, they are all struggling to get enough sales to support their R&D investment. Last year, 3 companies went out of business. Meta and Daiquiri being 2 of them. So we support RealWear right now. We're a Microsoft partner, so we're working on HoloLens, and we support Google Glass also. So we pick and choose, but we have to see a company that has market traction and has the financial resources to really be there 3 to 5 years from now.
Okay. Your company, you're using AI as part of the connected worker platform. What do you see is the future of AI-enabled augmented reality? And I'll add to that question, where do you envision someday not even needing a physical device to enable that technology?
Yeah, I'll answer that in the reverse order. I do think that there are, lots of investments in in smaller and smaller AR type devices like AR-based contact lenses. And we'll have to see how that unfolds. But I think the closer these devices come to air, like they're a normal pair of glasses that you would wear anyway, the more likely they're going to gain widespread adoption. But I think AI really, it's right now when we have a disparate workforce from the standpoint of experience and technical capabilities, what we really want to do is move from an era where we provide, sort of relatively primitive text-based instructions that every worker gets the same set. But we, just like you do when you visit a website today, AI decides what ads you should see. I hate ads personally, but there's a case where in every other industry, we're using AI to personalize the information you get. And I believe in the connected worker market, it's going to be the exact same thing, that every worker needs a specific amount of information and support in a specific format for them to optimize their job for safety first, quality second, and productivity third. And AI is really the foundation to do that. And that's why we built our platform on an AI foundation.
Okay. Last question. You talk about a skilled workforce and everything. For somebody that's looking to go into school or in the process of graduating, what additional skill sets or even professionals that want to do a career change, where should their focus be so that they can become more enabled to benefit from the work that you're doing?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think a lot depends on where you are as to where you should go, and it's obviously a very challenging employment environment. As a father, as a daughter who's soon to graduate from college, I think anything in the STEM field. So if you're going to make a transition, I would look for technically oriented jobs. In the industrial workforce, there's a huge shortage, 4 or 5 million jobs where people don't have the actual technical skills to do the jobs. We're having trouble filling them. So there's a great, a relatively high paying set of jobs out there that require some level of technical training, maybe a 2-year degree. What our platform does really, its intention is to help people who are like level 1 technicians in the Air Force perform in the field like level 3. So we can add, training content in the field. So our job really is to help close that skills gap that appears right at that moment in the job that they're doing right at that time.
Excellent. And actually, one more question came in. Which countries does your product provide now?
So we are we're just becoming a global business. So we support customers in EMEA and in the Americas. We have companies in Australia, New Zealand, English-speaking countries. We won't be really supporting sort of character-based languages until probably the latter part of this year. So we're on the first steps to becoming a global company, sort of in the pattern that we did with ThingWorx and Lighthammer and Wonderware.
Okay, great. So Russ, thank you very much for sharing your insights today. And that concludes our session.
Thank you. Cheers, everyone.